I'll also point out those specialty kits come in different ranks. So you get your first one for free when you choose your faction. You get to choose one of the kits for free. Then you have to kind of earn the rest of them. And the second and third ranks of those are actually completely new and exclusive to Lego Universe. They've never existed in the toys before, so we had the opportunity to actually create some new minifig toys, which is pretty fun for us. And we're trying to work with the manufacturing group so that one day you'll actually be able to order that minifigure and put them right there on your desk with all the gear that you've actually earned from the game, which I think would be pretty awesome. So you can see you can battle the bad guys. Obviously they're overpowered now for this area with all that rank 3 gear. So we're just going to keep running through. We're going to bypass a lot of other stuff. You see we've reached another area where the Sentinels have set up a base. There's lots of stuff to build here, smash. You can get a ton more missions. They keep these Dobermans as guard dogs. Once you learn how to tame a pet later in the game with that ability, you can come back and tame these for a pet for yourself. There's actually 19 different unique pets you can find throughout the universe. There's mini games you can unlock here as you do the different missions. There's a survival mini game you can play with 4 people. You gear up and see how long you can survive against endless waves of bad guys. You can shop. You can buy and sell stuff that you've been finding as loot or whatever, consumable items, etc. There's mailboxes, so you can send letters to your friends or mail them coins and packages and things like that. We'll go ahead and skip on up to the to another area here. So this is a monument that's being constructed, and this is being done by another group called the Assembly. So every minifigure can build in Lego Universe, but the Assembly are like the best of the best. They're the Top Gun builders, right? So they do ridiculous things like gigantic statues, and this one is to commemorate the struggle between the minifigures and the Maelstrom. Now it's convenient that they're building this here because the Maelstrom just blew up the road that gets you up to the next area. So you have to use the construction site. It's kind of like a little obstacle course to get up to the next area. And there's lots of little secret paths and things to uncover in that. Once you do that once successfully, you can actually build a race course that takes you back through the monument. So you can time yourself and go up on the leaderboards and see how quickly you can do it against your friends and whatever. And have achievements also for the best times, right? Gold, silver, and bronze times, things like that. So that's kind of the pattern of play that we establish as we go through the game. You do some mainline missions, there's some side quests, but as you're going through, you're kind of unlocking replayable little mini games and content that you can go back to for achievements and whatnot. Now we've reached another social hub area in Avant Gardens here. We got a lot of NPCs from all walks of life in Lego Universe. There's ninjas and pirates and cowboys and astronauts, robots and monkeys, pretty much every kind of guy you can imagine, and you can go talk to them for tips. They'll tell you a little bit about this world and other worlds you might go to. There's more things to smash if you need to collect a few more coins to buy something at the shop or power your character back up. If you found more rocket modules at this point, you can customize your rocket further. Later on, you'll be able to build modular race cars and race them against your friend. You can take your rocket to other worlds that are off out in space, so you can keep going to new worlds out in the Lego Universe there. And this rocket pad is a kind of special one. This one will actually take us to a property world. So the Nexus Force is going to send us out on a mission, a whole series of missions, to go and reclaim these worlds that are out in the universe that the Maelstrom is completely infected. And the thing about the Maelstrom is you can't use, if you just smash the bad guys, they just keep coming back because it's destructive energy, right? It just kind of feeds on that. That's also our fiction of why monsters always respawn. But if you use creativity and imagination, that's the way you defeat it forever. And we'll see that actually play out here in a property in a second. So up to this point, this is pretty much, you could describe this as an MMO in Lego clothes, right? We've seen a lot of things you've seen in other MMOs. You've created a character, we've adventured, we've battled some guys, there's little platforming elements and action like that. You can tame some pets, lots of quests to complete, achievements to unlock, buying and selling stuff. We can interact with other people, chat, do emotes. One thing on the emotes is you actually unlock more emotes as you play through the game. So the more you play, the more expressive your minifigure can become. And we can actually have hundreds and hundreds of emotes because we work with the minifigure as an animation rig. We don't have to worry about male, female, dwarf, elf, all that kind of stuff that you usually do with a fantasy RPG or something. Our animators were able to spend most of their time just building tons of unique animations, which is pretty fun. Okay, so we're going to cut over right now because we're about to jump into the part that really separates this game from the crowd and where we get into the real Lego play and why this is different than all the other MMOs out there. So we'll cut over to a movie because our challenge is to show, we're talking about infinity here. There's endless possibilities that you can actually do with this, but we only have half an hour to demo. So we've taken infinity and compressed it into a minute and a half in this nice movie to kind of explain the potential of what's going on here. Okay, So here it is. There's a world out in space. The Maelstrom's infected. This is all in-game footage, by the way. We show up. It's a very scary place, so we better put on some of the gear we've earned from the game. We're going to go deal with the bad guys that are here. Smash a few of them. We're going to find their generator that they're spawning from. Smash that. Take the bricks. Build it into something more useful that we can use to get to the trapped imagination, which blasts all the bad guys away. But now the Maelstrom is still here infecting this world. Now, until we actually take this final step of using our real-world creativity and our real brains to build something on our property, this is what makes the Maelstrom go away forever. Which means it's now safe for us to have our friends come over and check out this awesome thing that we built here to clean up the Maelstrom. It's kind of a letdown, I guess. Maybe if we add a few more bricks, they'll like it. Just a little bit better. And not only can you make really cool looking Lego creations, you can actually bring those creations to life, right? So you can make completely interactive environments where your friends can come and play. You can create your own stories here, you can create your own movies, you can create your own gameplay. And because it's all Lego, you can take it all apart and put it back together again, and it's something completely new and different, right? So that's why we say infinity in a minute and a half. As you can see the possibility there, just kind of endless. Okay, so we can switch back over to the game and show you in a little more detail what that actually is like to build and bring these creations to life. So Chris is going to take his rocket over to one of these property worlds. We're going to run some more cheats to kind of skip through the battle experience, because you kind of saw that summarized in the video there. And again, try to focus on the actual details of building and bringing things to life. Now while he's doing that, I'm going to talk about a feature that's kind of hard to demo in the game, because it mostly happens on Lego.com, but it's very important in terms of how we share content and user-generated content and making the safest online world we can. So here's our problem. We're trying to make the safest online world we can because we know kids are going to show up, and we also want to make it a creative environment, so we're telling you, hey, make whatever you want to in this world, right? And so user-generated content and safety tend to do this, right? You can imagine very easily some examples. So how are we going to get through this, right? How are we going to solve this? So we started asking ourselves, why is user-generated content cool? What even makes it special, right? So let's take an example that everybody knows, youtube.com, right? Tons of videos get uploaded, all user-generated, mostly user-generated. Nobody watches most of it, right? 99% of what's on YouTube is garbage, irrelevant, whatever, right? The world doesn't care. The 1% that you do end up watching is probably, you know, a little bit of stuff that's viral. It's like the best of the best, or funny videos about rainbows and cats and whatnot. And then the rest that you watch there is like your friends' video blogs. Maybe you respond to one. Family vacations, your kids doing silly stuff. And really that last bit is the stuff that you share with your social network, right? That's what makes it important. It's like, what are my friends and family up to? And so we thought about that in this context, and also things like, let's say, Facebook, right? I don't go to Facebook to find out what random anonymous people on the internet are doing, right? I find out what my friends are doing, and that's the content that matters because my social network brings it value. So in this context, I'm an 8-year-old kid, let's say. I'm building a little blocky dinosaur that I'm really proud about. The reality is most of the world doesn't actually care, right? Your dinosaur is not that cool. Don't tell the kid. But you know who it is cool to is mom and dad and brothers and sisters and my friends down the street who are also 8 years old, and my friends at school. And so I want to share it with them, and that's when we kind of realize, like, yeah, that's what this should be about. Is we don't necessarily need to make the emphasis be that you can share it with everybody, although you can. If you think your stuff is so cool, you can definitely share it globally and everybody can check it out. But it's really about connecting these social networks and bringing them into the game, right? To bring more value to what you're doing. So that's also true on an adult level if you think about it, right? We'll make more sophisticated models than 8-year-olds will, but there's still probably going to be like inside jokes with our friends, or like we'll model our office, or homages to our favorite properties that our friends that are also fans of those things like. You know, like I'm a big StarCraft fan, so I'll probably build little Zerglings running around and stuff like that, right? And my friends will appreciate that, but people that don't know StarCraft won't. So that kind of opened up some good conceptual ground for us.